where you're from. You might be the one who's running things. Well, you can ring anybody's bell and get what you want. See, it's easy to ignore trouble when you're living in a bubble. So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when nobody wants to fool with you? Living fun, living in the real world. The end all alone. Ain't it good to be on your own? Ain't it fun? You can't count on no one. Ain't it good?
Peace. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the video. So I've been talking a lot about this band on this channel for a minute, and I'm excited today to say that yesterday Paramore's 6th studio album, This Is Why, came out, and you don't understand how excited I was. I was so excited. Midnight Thursday night, I listened to the album. It was incredible, and I'm here to tell you all about it. My faves, because I don't really have any dislikes, let's be honest, but we don't talk about it in a nuanced way, because I don't want to come off that I just like the album because I'm in love with Paramore, because that would be dumb. I'm not that type of person, okay? If you know me, I've come on here, I've said things about Fall Out Boy, and were one of my favorite bands. I don't really know. We're in limbo right now. They're still in that mix, but we're in limbo. Anyways, point is, I've said things about Fall Out Boy, and I was really into them back in the day. And so, let's be honest, I'm willing to say from my heart how I feel about an album from an artist or a band that I like a lot. If I don't like it, if it's not up to par, I will say that. So this isn't going to be one of those albums where I'm just like catering because it's Paramore and I'm just really in love with them. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to say my real thoughts. But first, let's get some things out of the way, because we're going into a new Paramore era. And as Paramore have said many times during tour, like last fall, the fall in 2022, when they went on tour, and like other times, this is the era where a lot of different generations are meeting up at once, right? You have the original generation who listened to Paramore back in 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, and we are the original, Paramore listeners. The people who fell in love with the band when they were, back then, when they were younger, when they were teenagers. And then you have, sorry if the light fluctuates in this video, I'll probably go turn on the light in a minute, but let me just get this out of the way first. So you have the OG, like millennial fans who grew up with them. OG, All We Know Is Falling, Riot, Brand New Eyes, Decode, I Caught Myself from the Twilight soundtrack, all of that. We grew up on all of that. And then you have people who started listening to Paramore around Self-Titled / After Laughter. And then you have this new crowd that just discovered them off of TikTok and have just gotten into them, and so are now listening to all of their albums at once. And they're all coming together in this neat package, and it's really cool because it's really nice to see so many different generations listening to Paramore at this point. And I just want to put it out there that with all of these generations coming together to appreciate this band, it's been a really beautiful thing to see all of the fans on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or wherever going into their appreciation of Paramore. Now, as a Black person, I talk about Paramore in a very much a Black people like Paramore type of way. Because if you go on the internet at all and you see a Black person, they're gonna say, oh yeah, of course, we love Paramore. And a lot of them, when they say they love Paramore, a lot of their favorite songs are Ain't It Fun, Still Into You, Misery Business, That's What You Get, Decode, songs like that. Even some songs off of After Laughter. And that's cool. No disrespect. I love that you even love the band at all. But I don't like it when there are black people on the internet who they come at black people, because we'll be posting about black people and how we love Paramore and how important they are to us and how we ride for Miss Williams, okay? We ride for our girl. And then there will be that one person in the comments who will go, y'all just like her because she can sing, she got a voice, and she can, you know, shake her bones a little bit, and now y'all like her. She got a little bit of soul, and you know, she put a choir, a gospel choir, in a song. So now y'all are all into it, right? Gosh. And I'm like, every time somebody posts that, I'm like, bro, literally, there are fans of Paramore who are black. Now, yes, there are fans of Paramore who are black who literally only know Hayley Williams. They don't know any of the other band members' names. They don't really know a lot of Paramore's music outside of the singles, and that's okay too. You're allowed to like a band or an artist at any level that you do. No one's judging you. But at the same time, like, because there are fans that don't know that, it makes the fans like me and others who have been fans of the band for like, you know, 10 plus years, 10, 15, 17 years, feel like, you know, we're being lumped in together with those people who may not know Hayley and Co., which is what they pretty much call them. Instead of calling it Hayley, Taylor, and Zach, they call it that. And it's like, you know, they don't really know the band members' names, and that's not their fault either. Yes, Google exists, but they're not really going to go and look it up. But the point is that they like the band, and that's okay. In any capacity, that's okay, right? I just don't like being lumped in with that, oh, well, Paramore is only big because Miss Girl can sing, she had a gospel choir in her music, and she freaking can shake her bones on stage. I'm like, bro, that's not why all of us like her, Taylor, and Zach, the band of Paramore, right? There are a lot of us who actually know Paramore's discography. Like, we know the music on their albums. Like, we know more than just the singles, right? Like, we know more than All I Wanted. We know more than Misery Business. We know more than Ain't It Fun. And so it's just kind of disrespectful to claim that black people don't really know Paramore and that we're only claiming them because of Hayley and her vocal ability and the fact that she kind of like panders in a way to black people.
I have many questions. First off, let's say you go to a Paramore concert. You know what you gonna get if you go in there. And then Shorty start busting out with a crip walk? Why was she crip walking, for real? And the other question is, why was she so good at it? I've known people that have been crips their whole life. How the hell is she doing that shit that good?
We gotta protect Hayley Williams at all costs. Bro, I've seen a lot of Paramore videos on my For You page in the last week, and I am not mad at all. Reason being is because we've seen our queen, Hayley Williams, do some of the most fantastic stuff that you just don't expect. She busted out a dancing cookout move in one video. She roasted a crowd in another video. She threw it back in another video. And now she's hitting the... Hold up. That's more like it. She hit the C-walk, and it was clean. Super clean. Bro, she's a queen, and she's one of us. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is one of us.
Which is not true. Which is not true, because if you listen to, which most of them don't, they just assume, but if you listen to Paramore's entire discography, you would know that she has had some soulful songs on those albums. They might be the most pop punk songs, but they are soulful, okay? They are soulful. All right, and you just don't know because you don't listen to the albums, and so that's your fault, but, you know, that's on you. So, yeah. Just so you know, that's on you and whatever. But you just obviously don't know this band at all, so I don't know why your opinion matters. But it's like, why even make that claim that we're just like, she's just pandering to us? Like, that's not true. That's not true. She's not pandering to us. She's real. She's real. Like, The entire band is real. But Haley is really a real person. Like, you don't know this because you probably never listened to Paramore pre the singles, but Paramore actually started out as a funk cover band. So, and also Haley has said several times in interviews that some of the first music she ever listened to was soul music, was R&B, was hip hop.
Hey, I'm trying to decide which way to go. Think I made a wrong turn back there somewhere. Ooh, hey, I'm trying to decide which way to go. Think I made a wrong turn back there somewhere.
Like, she grew up in Mississippi before she moved to Tennessee, obviously, when she was really little. And she listened to a lot of soul music and R&B and hip hop. So what do you really expect for her to not use those influences in her music in the way that she sings? I mean, that's her most formative way of learning to sing. And then she got into the more alternative, emo, punk stuff, right? But she was definitely an R&B soul girl before she was, and even pop, you know, she was part of an NSYNC fan club. Like, literally, she has a wide range of influences in her music. So it's not just all of a sudden she's trying to pander to black people because she knows that the black community has a very fond love for her. No, she's been doing this her whole career and pre her career. And she's just an incredible person. And her love for black people and people of color is just really genuine. More than most artists, more than most bands. Paramore's, and not just Haley, Zach and Taylor too, their love and appreciation for the black and people of color community is really special because it feels very genuine, unlike other artists and bands who do actually pander to our community. You can tell Haley actually cares about the communities that she makes music not for, but she makes music and then they come to her shows, they come to, you know, Paramore shows, and, you know, they are there to support. And it's not because she's pandering to us, but it's also because she just is a real person who is really, really just doing Haley. And I love that about her, and I always will.
Of nothing more anti-establishment than young women, than people of color, and the queer community. So what I want to say to you, if you are one of those people in those subsects, there is space for you here now. Did you hear me? There's space for you now. And we love you, and we love being a part of this scene. And we're going to keep doing whatever we can do alongside our friends and our peers in this scene to make it feel safe for every single one of you out there. Because it does not feel good to feel unwelcome. It does not feel good to be talked down to. So if you're here tonight, thank you. Thanks for watching us. We all survived a lot to get to this night.
So those comments really get on my nerves, and I just wanted to talk about it because I've been seeing too much of it on the internet, and I'm like, just because black people have now made it, and not just now, obviously, like forever, have made it that Haley and Taylor and Zach, Paramore in itself, are a band that we are going to ride for, is not a coincidence, and it's not pandering. So you need to check out more of the music of Paramore and stop just looking at these clips, because that's what you're doing, and it's annoying. Because every time I post something about Paramore being black, there's always somebody who but she's I'm like, no, she's not pandering. Paramore doesn't pander. Paramore is one of the realest bands. So take that into consideration. Do more research on the band and Hailey as herself, and just don't come at me or anybody else who posts about Paramore and the black community talking about she's pandering, because we don't play that. We don't play that. We don't play that. Miss Williams is a real one. Taylor York, Zach Farrow, they are real. They are real. And the way that they show up for us is beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I just wanted to get that out of my head because it's been on my mind for a while and it just gets on my nerves. I'm tired. This video changed a little bit, but I had to turn the light on because the sun is about to go down, so I had to like turn on the light so that we could see me. But anyways, number 2, what I want to talk about, and I'm getting to the album, I promise. I just want to talk about these things really fast because they be on my mind, and I just want to talk about them because, you know, I love this band. I have for 15 years, 16 this year, and I'm going to see them in June. Yay for me. But I love this band. And whether this band is cool, whether this band is not cool, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm always gonna love this band. That just is what it is. That being said, I just want to talk about this because I've been seeing it within the last 48 hours as this album has come out, with different reviews and also just hot takes and things like that around the band and around this album. So I am in no way saying that you have to give this album a 10 out of 10. That would be stupid, that would be dumb, and that would just be pandering. That would be pandering, right? That would be pandering if you gave this album a 10 out of 10 and you didn't think it was a 10 out of 10. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can still love a band, you can still love an artist, and you do not have to think everything they do is a 10 out of 10. You do not have to think everything they do is flawless, immaculate, oh my god. Like, you don't have to do that. Because that's stupid. That's stupid. Criticism is a good thing. And if you aren't able to criticize your favorites, what's the point? What's the point? Okay? What's the point? And I think that the person making the art or the people making the art want to hear criticisms as long as they're like good and constructive criticisms, not dumb things, right? But I just want to point out that you know, people who I thought was going to give the album more of a better score, I guess, and not that these scores on the internet of these, you know, these like review channels, like these album review channels or whatever, not that they really matter in the grand scheme of things, because again, I don't believe in those types of things. I've said this several times. I have a whole video on my channel about how much I don't like the Grammys because of, and award shows in general, just because of what they do to certain artists or, you know, movie stars or entertainers in general. They make them think that they are so much better than everybody else because they have this trophy, and it's like, you're not really. It doesn't matter if your fave has never gotten any awards, because in reality, your favorite is your favorite for a reason, right? So it doesn't matter. But so it's like, you know, whatever score these internet album reviewers give an album, in the grand scheme of things, does not matter, because your favorite is your favorite, right? And so even though I've been seeing people on the internet give album reviews of this album who I thought would give it really a much better score than what they're giving, I'm not mad at it either. I think that, again, healthy criticism of a band that you really like is important because it helps them to be better. Like, I feel this way. I feel like the criticism that me and a lot of other people gave Fall Out Boy around the Mania era was the reason that they came back so strong this time around. You know what I mean? They came back so strong with their first single this time around, and it felt really good. And I feel like the criticism that me and many people gave to them was the reason that they are, you know, much better for it in 2023, right? But it just feels like, you know, first of all, I don't like it when a video starts out as Hailey and Co. because that makes me think that why are you even doing a review on this album if you don't even know the names of the other band members? If you only know Haley, that's a problem. That's a problem. Second, and this is me getting more into the album, so I guess we could just start going into the actual album. But like I said, This Is Why came out on Friday. And I'm filming this on Saturday, so it's like, you know, I've had a little bit of time to really go into the album. So Paramore's biggest influences on this album are post-punk, funk, and a lot of ballads, but it's very, very post-punk. And that's what they said. Haley, when she was doing her radio show on BBC One, and she was doing her like Everything is Emo thing that she was doing her radio show, she talked about how, because she played a lot of Block Party, and I love Block Party, they're so good, and she talked about Block Party a lot and how Block Party were one of Paramore's biggest influences on this album, and I love that. Paramore going on tour with Block Party this era, and we love to see it. We truly love to see it, okay? Block Party are perfect segues into Paramore. Like, having Block Party before Paramore goes on, perfect. Very post-punk, very dance punk, very like dance punk, but a little bit more subdued than normal dance punk, but like still very much a post-punk dance punk album, right? And again, I think it works so well because the connection from After Laughter to this album is apparent, obviously. Like, This Is Why, the opener, very much continuation of what they were talking about on After Laughter, but in a more subdued way. Meaning it's still very dancey, it's still very post-punk, it's still very dance punk, it's still funky, but a little bit more subdued than what was on After Laughter, which was like out in your face when it came to like the funk and like the grooves and like all of that. And so yeah, their biggest influences on this album are very much post-punk, dance punk, funk, and ballads. That is their biggest influence, and I like it a lot. It really does fit Paramore in this era, and you know, I'm okay that they turned into this kind of band. Just because they are not making, you know, pop punk music anymore, it don't mean nothing, because I really like it. I really like it, and I think they're doing great with the sound. You know, like I said, I personally think it's a good album. I do. Now, do I understand some of the criticisms that people have been giving the album? 100%. But I also think that there's a lot of people on the internet who automatically, when they heard that Haley, Taylor, and Zach were gonna go in a more rock direction this album cycle, also there's gonna be more drums and guitars, right? I feel like they heard that and they were automatically like going right back to All We Know Is Falling, Riot, Brand New Eyes, and even some songs on Self-Titled. And I'm sorry, but we are so post that era, it's not even funny. And when you really listen to the album, this album actually has a little bit of something for everybody. Like, literally. Like, no matter what era of Paramore you like, there's gonna be a song on the album for you, right? Like, let's start off. Okay, so The News and Figure 8, You First is also an incredible song. If you are into Brand New Eyes or anything off of Self-Titled, well, not anything, but there are some like more guitar driven, also more drum driven songs on Self-Titled that are like very much, you know, reminiscent of this song. You're gonna like this song a lot. And this song is about basically like Thick Skull and like Crave, and even like Figure 8 and stuff. Haley talking about how, you know, I can't be the only bad guy, and that being the bad guy is up to interpretation. And so everybody can say that I'm the bad guy, but in reality, maybe I'm not the bad guy. And maybe that's just your interpretation of who I am. Because, you know, everybody says I'm the bad guy. So watch yourself. And I'm like, exactly, Haley, because these men who trying to act like you're the bad guy in the situation all the time, when they did nothing wrong. They do nothing wrong every time. Like, nothing wrong, okay? Okay? Like, all of these men, 3 men, trying to act like they didn't do anything, when in reality, this is your fault. This is your fault. Okay? Like, get over yourself and admit to your faults, because Haley's gonna keep singing about how you're bad and trash. So either admit to your faults, or you're just gonna have to have every single Paramore song ever written for the rest of forever be about how you're trash and how terrible you've treated her and how she's had to deal with her own feelings around it and go to therapy because of it and deal with all of these things because you've always tried to make her out to be the bad guy. When in reality, y'all are the bad guys. You guys. So, but I love that song so much. Like I said, this song is kind of in the same vein, sort of, with Figure 8. And, yeah. Those are probably the most, like, Brand New Eyes, a little bit of Riot vibe that they could really go back to, right? Like, those are the most, you know, I don't want to call it heavy because Paramore haven't been heavy since a long time. And that's okay. Like I said, that is okay. People evolve. But if you are really saying that you don't like this album and you haven't really given it a chance, you need to give it a chance. Because if you're the one that's just listening to singles and you haven't heard the full album and you're still pandering on about how you want Riot era back, you want All We Know Is Falling era back, you want Brand New Eyes back, you're not listening to this album. I pretty am sure that if you listen to the news, if you listen to Figure 8, you would hear it. You would hear it. You would hear the vibe. Okay? Like I said, it's giving very much Riot. It's giving very much Brand New Eyes. And you would like it if you're into those albums and you want something from there. Okay? So you should go listen to those songs because they very much give you that energy if you want that energy. And they're very, very good. And the lyrics are good. And they're strong songs, right? They're probably the most strong songs off the whole album, if we're being honest, right? Now, I've also heard that people think that Running Out of Time and Comme C'est Comme Ça are both like, I heard somebody call it H&M music, and I thought it was the most hilarious thing in the world. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Haley, Taylor, and Zach are in their mid-30s, right? They're not ever going to make Riot. They're never going to make Brand New Eyes. They're never going to make All We Know Is Falling ever again, right? And Haley's even, like, commented about it on the internet. Like, you know, somebody would say something about how they want Riot or whatever back, and then she would have to check them, and it's really funny. But it's also, like, you know, they're allowed to make H&M music, okay? If that's what you think it is, then it is. And they're allowed to do that. Okay? Because again, I know that all of you out there in the world fell in love with Paramore because of their pop punk rocky sound, right? And I get that. Respect, respect, respect. That's how we all found out about Paramore back in the day. And that's okay. But again, Paramore started out as a funk cover band, and I think nobody ever puts that into consideration when they start talking about this band. It's like they don't think about their roots. Their roots were a lot funkier than rock, pop punk, whatever kind of vibe they were going off of. Always emo, because they're always going to talk about some stuff on their lyrics, baby. But they were a funk cover group. Haley grew up listening to soul, R&B, and hip-hop before getting into alternative pop punk, emo music. And I just feel like a lot of people don't fully get that, right? And I don't understand. I don't understand. It's not 2007 anymore, and you're going to have to grow up, and you're going to have to realize that people evolve. And again, you do not have to like it, but I think that Running Out of Time is a jokey meme song. And it's a good jokey meme song. And that's okay. Because all the song is about Hailey and how she's running out of time because she's never on time. And I think that's hilarious. I think that Paramore, in their essence, are having way too much fun at this point. And I think that a lot of people who are saying that they don't like that song are also wanting the band to go back to being so serious like they were on the first 3 albums and even self-titled, even though they were joking on self-titled too. They want them, even on After Laughter, they were joking, but they want them to be so serious and go back to their serious pop punk, roots, even though Hailey Taylor and Zach have been through, specifically Hailey, but Hailey Taylor and Zach in general have been through so much together, by themselves, with this band, and in life. And if Hailey Taylor and Zach want to joke around and have fun with the fans, I don't think it's a problem. I really don't. And I like the high note that she does in the chorus. I'm always running out of time. She's always running out of time. I'm always running out of time. Like, I like that. That's giving. Sorry, we don't say giving anymore. I like that. It's a vibe. Like, I love it. And you should go and watch her explain the lyrics to that song on Genius. Weird they picked that song out of all the songs. But we're not going to get into that. But she sings the song on the Genius. She sounds just like the record. And now I know that for the last 4 or 5 years, the studio session of Still Into You has been going viral all over the internet because she sounds just like the record. And that's one of the things that I love about Hailey so much. Like, as a person whose first love will always be and always has been R&B, specifically 90s R&B, but also soul music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and jazz and funk and stuff, I love a good voice. I truly love a good voice. And when you can sing, you've sold me. You've sold me for life, bro. I am in love. I'm in love, right? In love. So, I think she does incredible on that song. And it's a jokey, like I said, a jokey meme song. You could either take it as Hailey being not on time ever, which, join the club, Hailey, okay? Join the club. I am never on time to anything. I am late all the time for no reason, and it's bad, but life, right? Life. So you can take it as a jokey song like that, or like Hailey said, you can equate it to the world is basically falling apart and we're running out of time to fix it. Either way, it's a fun song. I like to have fun. This is a side tangent that I'm going to go on, and it's going to be quick, but ever since 2017 around, and even before that, but really 2017, the music, and maybe it's because I grew up in the 2000s, so everything was really fun. All my music was really fun. I grew up around pop punk music, obviously, and emo and stuff like that. But then I also grew up on the hip hop side of it, and alternative music. But then I also grew up on the hip hop side of it. I just grew up on a lot of fun music. Even the R&B was fun. You know what I mean? It was just fun, good music. It really was. And then in the mid 2000s, it gets into the dance pop era. And EDM starts to become a thing. And then EDM goes into the 2010s. And that whole thing and whatever. And it's really fun. Yeah, it might be shallow and dumb and whatever. And a lot of that music doesn't really stand up and hold up today. But when you go back and you listen to it, it gives you that vibe of being in that era. And it's just a lot of fun. You just think about the time that you were in and how much fun you were having, if you're having fun. But, you just think about that time, right? Then somewhere around the mid 2010s to late 2010s, music just started to get really dark. And not just normal dark, but dark. And like, yes, okay, I grew up on emo music, I grew up on pop punk music. Yeah, but even their music was like fun. I don't know how to explain it. Like, yeah, they were talking about some hard topics, and like a lot of it was like, you know, the lyrics were really hard, but for some reason they would go hard with the lyrics and then they would have some fun instrumentation. I don't know why, but that's how it was. Like, I don't know. And so like around 2017, when it became like everything had to be like, every single song had to be like really, really dark and like really, really like, you know, whatever. And I get it, that's around the time that a lot more like mental health talks were being talked about, and like people were able to come out and say that like they were depressed or they have anxiety or all these things. And that's really, really dope. I love that. But for a long time now, I've been saying I miss happy music. Like, I miss just like fun, happy, jokey music. And I feel like Hailey Taylor and Zach brought it to us on Running Out of Time. I really do. I think that's going to be a single. I think that's going to be a really good song for a long time. I think it's going to hit on tour. And I just think, you know, it's fun. It's fun. I don't understand why everything has to be so serious all the time. It is a good, fun song. Get over it. Really. Like, if you don't know how to have fun, then I don't really know you. Or, you know, whatever. It's a good song. You know? Because, you know, they have Running Out of Time. They have Comme C'est Comme Ça, which is also another like meme-y, jokey song that's just about how, you know, we're introverts. Literally, this album is speaking to my soul. Every song I feel like has some kind of way of just like speaking to me, right? This is why, about staying in the house and not going out. The news, talking about, you know, whether we should turn in or tune out, and like how we feel helpless because we're not out doing like more work and like protesting and doing all of that, but at the same time we try to do it from our computer, but then we also feel helpless, but then we also don't want to get inundated with the news because it's just too much bad energy vibes. And then you have like Running Out of Time, which is like about how Hailey's always running out of time because she's always late to everything and she can never be on time because why? Hailey is on CP time. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. But Hailey be on that CP time. Anyways, but yeah, she's always late and she's never on time, and you know, it's fun. And then you have Comme C'est Comme Ça, which is also about being an introvert and about, you know, never having any plans because you go to sleep at 8 o'clock and you love to stay in the house and like never really go out, and how your only form of entertainment is going to your chiropractor appointment, which is hilarious. Like, it's just fun, you know. And those songs, all those songs those 4 songs completely and totally describe my life. And I'm just like, Hailey, Taylor, and Zach really know what I'm going through all the time, because I swear every single album comes out and I'm just like, you understand what I'm going through. Every single time when I need to have some kind of cathartic way to talk about how I'm feeling, you come out with an album and then I'm like, yep, that's exact. Yes, 100. Yep. Me too. So yeah. Also, another note, I want to talk about this. When they were getting interviewed by Zane Lowe, and Taylor came out and he was talking about how he has ADHD and how he has anxiety and how he fidgets a lot and like, you know, is like in his head a lot and like all those things. Oh my gosh, Taylor. Like, if I didn't have a crush on you from like the time I was 16 until now, even though you're with Hailey now, which we love, but like still, I can still like you. I like you so much more. Like, every day I love you even more. Like, Taylor, like, bro. Yeah, same. Like, I may not have ADHD, like, you know, whatever, but like the fidgeting, the being all up in your head and being anxiety ridden and nervous when having to do interviews or be on a Zoom call or be on the phone, literally, that's me speaking to my soul. It's speaking to my soul. So shout out. Okay, anyways, back to the album though. So yeah, those 4 songs totally describe my life. Then you have the next song. So you have Figure 8, which is one of the most like it's probably one of the best songs on the album, to be honest with you, like from a technical standpoint and like a lyrical standpoint and like just like the instrumentation. Like Taylor and Zach go so hard on that song, and like I said, it very much gives Riot, it very much gives Brand New Eyes, it very much gives that time period of pop punk. Like it really, really does. And you guys gotta listen to it. Come on, like it's the drums are driving, the guitars are driving, so good, like so good. Hayley's voice, crazy, love it, love that. And then you have a song like, you know, Thick Skull, where Hayley's going crazy with her vocals, okay? I said that already like a million times, and just like I do on like any Fall Out Boy track, I will say that Hayley, the same way I say about Patrick, I go, Hayley, Miss Williams, is killing it on the vocals. Now, I have heard that people think that Hayley is not using as much of her voice as she could, and like she's kind of like toning it down, and I don't really think that's true. I think it's a good thing that she isn't using her full voice, if we're being honest, because I don't want Hayley to have her voice go out. You know what I mean? Right now, she is giving. She is killing it. She is doing what most singers wish they could do, which is sound like the record in public, on tour. A lot of your faves are not doing that. They're not doing it like Hayley, ma'am. And so I don't want Hayley to use all of her power right now because, and this is no disrespect because I love her, Mariah Carey used too much of her voice in the 90s, and as much as she can still sing, because she is killing it still, she is a queen, she's Miss Diva, okay? She used too much of her voice in the 90s, and now it's not as powerful now, but that's here nor there. And so I don't want Hayley to have to, you know, use too much of her voice and then it goes out, because that would be bad. That would be tragic, and I would be so sad. So sad. But, yeah. So we don't want that. But she gives it anyway. She gives a killer performance, and that's all that matters. So, on the vocals, on every track, she's killing it. Killing it. So, yeah. So, but yeah. Thick Skull, Chef's Kiss. And Thick Skull is basically about how the friendship of Paramore, you know what I mean? And all the iterations of Paramore and the reminiscing of it all. And Crave is kind of like that too. Crave is about, you know, kind of like, you know, about the band, about the hard times, about all the things, and how Hayley's like, you know, even though we've had a hard time, no pun intended, and even though life can be, you know, difficult, I'd do it again. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. And that is beautiful, because she could have been like, you know, screw the rest of my band members, because, you know, there are times where I wanted to quit, and so screw them. And, you know, if I had to go back and do it, I wouldn't, because all of my hurt is laid out for display, and I don't want to deal with that no more. So if I had to go back and hurt again, no, I wouldn't do it. But she was like, no, I would do it again, because if I didn't have all that hurt, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I think because she's healing so much, and because it feels very like happy, because, and that's another thing, you know, before she was in these trash relationships, her friends were being trash to her, and so yeah, she was writing about those experiences on a lot of projects. And so yes, a lot of anger, a lot of heartache, a lot of sadness were in those albums, right? It's okay for Hayley to be happy. I don't understand why that's a crime. And so I'm happy that she's happy, and that Paramore are happy, and that Paramore are in a good vibe. They're in a good era. They're in a good space. And I just love that. And I really am just happy that they're able to make the music that they want. And so that's basically what Crave and Thick Skull are about. And they go hard. They do. Crave is more of a slower ballad, but it's still so good. Like, it's still good. I love a good Paramore ballad. Like, I do. And I think a lot of people are like, you know, there's too many ballads or there's too many slow songs on this album, right? And maybe that's true, but so if they want to put out slow songs, let them. You know what I mean? Let them. Because they also put out Little Man, Big Dignity, which it's no punk song. Let's be freaking honest. It doesn't go in depth about, like, you know, the patriarchy and, like, you know, sexism and all of that. It doesn't go hard enough into it. And yeah, I didn't expect it to, but at the same time, you know, I think she went a lot more deep into that era in her solo work than she did on this album. And that's okay. That's okay. Again, she put the surface line, baseline thing that men suck. Not all men, but there are a lot of men out there who suck. And they've hurt her. And she's talking about it. And, you know, it may be surface level, but, and at least she's talking about that situation. At least she's talking about men being weird and predatory and abusive to her and other women. And that's important, because talking about it at all is really important. As a woman, I value that, because yeah, there are creepy men out there who abuse their power, and her talking about it at all is important. Like I said, no, it's not the most lyrically mastered, you know, song about, you know, the patriarchy or, you know, sexism or feminism or whatever, but at least she has a song that talks about this at all. And that's important. That's important, because it's going to inspire younger generations, younger bands, younger people to talk about it. And that's good. That's a good thing. So yeah. But can we talk about that flute on Little Man, Big Dignity? Bro, my mind, like, I was like, where's this flute coming from? I had never heard a flute on a Paramore record. Let me be honest, not this pronounced anyways. I probably have, but not this pronounced, right? And then when the flute came out at the end, of course it was at the end, like right at the end when it's about to like go out, which I wasn't really happy about because I really like that vibe. So they should have had it more in a bridge part, and then they could have went into the bridge, like, you know, the pre-bridge, and then they could have went into the bridge like that. But we had it at the very end, which was, you know, whatever. But it's short, but I like it. It's throughout the song. Like, the flute is throughout the song, but you can really, really hear it at the end. And man, it is so good. Now, I'm biased because I really like flutes. I really like flutes, and I really like string instruments like violins and stuff, and violas and guitars and stuff. So I'm a little biased. But then it was giving like very much soul, like a very much like a soul version of the flute, and I was just like, yes, yes, flute, come through, baby, incoming flute, let's go, let's go. I love it. I really do. I like it. Okay, I really hope somebody plays the flute on stage when I go to their concert, because I really want to see it. I really want to see it. I really want to see it. I really do. I really do. Taylor is in her life. Also, I said this on Twitter, and I hope this happens, so somebody get on it, because I really want to see it. So, you know, Haley, Taylor, and Zach, Paramore, are going on tour. They're already on tour. They did Phoenix yesterday, at the time of recording this. They did Phoenix yesterday. They did, obviously, their opening show at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. And they're going on tour. And so, in June, they're coming to, you know, the DMV, where I am. And in the DMV, if you don't know, one of our biggest musical legacies and one of our most recognized musics in the area. Obviously, you know, we started a lot of hardcore in DC, so there's that. But what I really want from Paramore at this point is I want somebody to use one of their songs. I don't care if it's Ain't It Fun. I don't care if it's a single. I really don't. But I just want you to use one of their songs, because I'm not good at mixing and mastering. I do it myself. I could find out how to do it, but I'm not going to do it. Or maybe I will. You never know. see me in a couple of months and see if I actually did it. No, I don't know, maybe. But I'm asking out there for the people who can do this, because it would be so dope if you did it. I really want somebody to take a Paramore song and I want them to remix it with a go-go beat. I really want you to do it. I really want you to do it. Because I feel like Hailey's vocals over a go-go beat, oh my gosh. Have you ever heard the Ashley Simpson song over the go-go beat? So good. I mean, obviously that version was sung by a black woman, but I'm just saying it was a cover. But I'm just saying, like, baby, it would be so good. And then she could totally dance to it when she's in DC. That would be fire. That would be so fire. Anyways, make it happen, Captain. Okay? Thanks. But back to the music. So yeah, that flute on Little Man Big Dignity. Giving. Vibes. 8 down. And so this album only has 10 tracks, which I will say is my biggest thing that I don't like. I don't like that it's so short, because Paramore, I know y'all gotta go and live life. You've been on tour basically your whole life, and I know that taking time for yourself is important, especially as you get older. And I respect that. I really, truly, wholeheartedly respect that, right? But y'all take way too long in between albums, and then I have to wait, right? So when there's only 10 songs on an album, I have to wait a long time. And then there's only 10, right? So then it's just like 10 can be like really short, and then I have to wait and wait and wait. That's not cool, Paramore. That's not cool. You could have done 13. You could have done even 15, and I would have been okay. All right. It's not like you come out every day. But anyways, I digress. Also, Liar, great song. It's about how Hailey is now in a relationship with Taylor York. We love to see it. I'm so happy that she's finally in a happy relationship, let's be honest. Because her last few relationships, tragic, trash, awful. But this relationship seems so good and so healthy and so nurturing. Like I said, so there's this interview with Zane Lowe, who does interviews for Apple Music, and he's really sweet. He's really cool. He does really good interviews. But during this last interview, Taylor was coming out about how he has ADHD and how he has anxiety and how he's like, you know, in his head a lot, and how in the interview he was like very anxiety ridden and didn't know what to do with his hands and was like fidgeting a lot and stuff like that. And Hailey was so sweet to him, like so sweet to him. Like he brought it up and she started like laughing, but in like a way to like make him feel better. So like she would just start laughing at everything he said just because she was trying to make him feel better. And then like while he was talking, she just like put her hand on his back and started rubbing it. It was so freaking cute. And then like I've seen clips from the tour that they've just started, and so they were at the Grand Ole Opry. So Hailey has talked before about how she wants to play guitar on stage, but she's nervous to play guitar on stage because of men trying to make her feel bad about her guitar skills. And that's not okay. And so at the Grand Ole Opry, she did a song dedicated to Loretta Lynn, who passed away recently. And she used to do this song on tour a lot before, like in the 2000s. And so she did that song. Since it's a country singer and she's at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, she did that song. And she actually played on guitar. And then she also did this mashup that she used to do in the early 2010s when the Singles Club came out. And it was In the Morning, which is one of Paramore's songs, which is more acoustic. And she does this mashup with In the Morning and Landslide. And it's so good. It's so good. And so she did that. And Taylor was there. And when she finished, he just went and he hugged her. And he was like so happy for her. And it was so cute. And so that's basically what Liar is about. Liar is about their relationship and how Hailey's finally willing to feel and be vulnerable with this relationship because she hasn't been able to in the past. And I'm just so proud of Taylor and Hailey for being in a relationship that is not whole necessarily, but just very, very, very like comforting and very, very, very like wholesome and just very like, you know, they're there for each other, not only in their relationship as, you know, a couple, but as in their relationship as bandmates and friends. It's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and I just love to see it. I'm so glad that she's willing to talk about these things on record so much, because it was so funny when we finally found out that Taylor and Hailey were actually like officially dating, because we knew they were dating like a long time ago, right? So we knew they were dating because she put a song on her self-titled album, Petals for Armor, called Taken. And Taken is about Taylor. And we all knew it back then, but we weren't like 100%, but we were like, it has to be about Taylor, right? And so when she talks about him on Liar, and then she had come out in like some interview that they were dating, and it was just so special. And I was just like, I just feel so happy that she's willing to talk about those types of things out in the public and not feel like ashamed, or not feel like, you know, she can't talk about her relationships, or, you know, have to talk about them in the past because they were tragic and terrible and awful. She just is happy, and Taylor's happy, and the band is happy, and again, I'm just happy for them. So I really like Liar a lot. It's a good song. I think I've talked about every song, but I don't really know. I think I did. Like I said, there's only 10 songs, so I probably did talk about each and every one, even in a small dose. But if you want to hear my full thoughts on this album, because I basically talked about it in like a more generic type of way right now. Like, yes, these are my thoughts, but they're more generic than they're pretty surface level and baseline. But if you want to hear my full thoughts and opinions on this record, while I basically go through it and I dissect it a little bit more, you should follow my blog, iceturtlegirl.blog, where I'm going to write a blog, because I wrote a blog when After Laughter came out about the album, and about like where the band members were and who's in the band and all that stuff. And then, so I'm going to do the same thing with this record. So you should check out there, because it's going to go a lot more in depth about my thoughts and feelings about the album. And yeah, again, I'm so excited they're back. You have no idea. I am so excited that I got Paramore tickets. You have no idea. And we're rocking. 2023 is a good year for music, like I said. It's going to be a good year for music. It's going to be a good year in general. We just happy because Paramore back. Because it's been over 5 years. Paramore left us. Hailey did her solo work, which, by the way, this is what I wanted from Paramore. And I know it would have been like way too much strain on Hailey, so this would be disrespectful. But at the same time, they could have made it happen. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking, because I don't want Hailey's voice to go out, so that would be kind of mean. But I will say that she should be allowed, because Zach puts the song of Half Noise into the set list. So I think that Hailey should be allowed to put at least one song from Petals for Armor into the set list, so that we can pretend that we got a Petals for Armor tour. Okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Petals for Armor was Hailey's solo project that she did in 2020. She also had another solo project that she did in 2021 called Flowers for Vases. Not my favorite project, but you know, it's still a vibe. But that one's more slow and like acoustic-y. But Petals for Armor is like funky, like you're gonna love it. If you have never listened to it, you should go listen to it. But we were supposed to have a tour, and then the pandemic hit, and I'm really mad about that, because I had gotten tickets to see Miss Williams and her solo tour for Petals for Armor for $75. Do you understand how much money I spent to go see Paramore? Not as much as y'all are spending for other artists. I hope y'all got their tickets. But, like, I did spend a little bit. And so, I'm just saying, I could have saw Hailey Williams for $75. Pandemic, you ruined everything. You really did. You ruined my hopes and dreams. I'm joking. But I am so mad that I didn't not get to see her during that time. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. At least she had given us something. So good job. Good job. Anywho, yeah, I'm rambling at this point. But I'm just really happy that Paramore, Hailey and Co. No, I'm just really glad that Hailey, Taylor, and Zach are back. They're back in effect. We love to see it. We're so happy that this is the second time that we're getting a consistent lineup in like forever. It feels really good. The energy feels really good. Paramore seemed more happy than they seemed in years. The tours feel like they're just an experience. Oh my god. I know I keep harping on it, but I'm just so excited to see them in June. I've never seen Paramore live, and I think I've told this story already before, but I'm gonna tell it again. In 2013 or 2014, when they were on their self-titled tour and they had came to the DMV, I had tickets, and they were literally playing at the college that is like right up the street from me. Like literally I could walk to it, and my butt got sick. Still mad at myself for that. Anyways, so I never got to see them live, and so I'm just really excited that I finally got tickets, and I'm just really happy that I'm going to see them. I really am, because the videos and the pictures that I've been seeing from the tour, Haley looks extremely happy. The band just looks really happy. The vibe just feels really good. The crowd is just like vibing. I'm just really excited. Like, this might be the best Paramore era for the fans out of everybody else, for the fans that there is. And I'm just, because I hear all the time how important After Laughter was, and I respect that, but because I never got to see them during After Laughter, at the time I didn't have money, sue me, I cannot vouch for that. But from what I'm seeing from this Is Why era, from the tours, y'all cutting up. Haley's cutting up. Y'all in the audience are cutting up. Taylor's having the best. Zach is having the best. The whole entire band. We love to see it. We love to see it. It's so wonderful. So wonderful. So, this might be my last Paramore video on this channel for a while. Unless there's like some other thing that happens that I need to talk about. But this might be my last video about them for a while. Maybe until my tour. And so, my tour date. And so, Haley, if you see this, I love you, girl. Zach, Taylor, if you see this, I love you too. Y'all are the vibe. Y'all are the moment, okay? And y'all give me so much music to listen to that just fuels my soul, makes me feel seen, makes me feel like everything I feel, I'm not feeling it alone. And thank you for that. Just really, truly thank you for that. Because there are times where I cannot articulate how I'm feeling from one day to the next. And then you guys put out an album and like every song is like, oh yeah, I feel that. I feel that way too. Oh, I feel that. Okay, yeah. Me too. And it makes me feel seen. It makes me feel seen. So now I've come to the conclusion that Paramore they're a band who needs to work on their time management, but they're also introverted, so they don't really want to come out the house. And they're elder millennials. But they are politically aware, and but they're working on themselves. That is what this band is giving to me at this point, and I'm okay with that, all of it. I really, really am. I really am. And I just love you guys. I really do. I really do. So yeah. Until my next video on whatever random topic I want to talk about. Peace and blessings.